Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever noticed that some English words sound more powerful, more professional, and more intelligent than others even when they carry a similar meaning? Today we are going to explore one of those word pairs. Stop using necessary all the time and start using imperative in the right situations. This lesson is going to completely change the way you speak and write English. By the end of this lecture, you will understand the real difference between necessary and imperative, when to use each word, why imperative sounds stronger and more advanced, and how native speakers use it in conversations, speeches, business communication, education, and professional writing. Many English learners use the word necessary again and again because it is simple and common. But advanced speakers know that there are moments when imperative is a much better choice. If you want your English to sound smarter, stronger, more formal, and more impressive, this lecture is for you. Let us begin. The word necessary is one of the most common words in English. It means something is needed or required. If something is necessary, it cannot be avoided because it is important for achieving a result. For example, water is necessary for life. A passport is necessary for international travel. Studying is necessary to pass the exam. These sentences are correct and natural. The word works perfectly. But the problem is that many learners use necessary in every situation. That makes their English sound repetitive and basic. Now let us move to the word imperative. The word imperative is more powerful. It means extremely important, urgent, or impossible to ignore. When you say something is imperative, you are not simply saying it is needed. You are saying it is critically important. Listen carefully to these two sentences. It is necessary to wear a helmet. It is imperative to wear a helmet. Both sentences are grammatically correct. But the second sentence sounds stronger, more serious, and more urgent. It tells the listener that ignoring this action could have serious consequences. That is the magic of the word imperative. Now let us deeply understand the difference. Necessary means needed. Imperative means urgently and critically needed. Necessary sounds neutral. Imperative sounds serious and forceful. Necessary is common in everyday speech. Imperative is common in formal speech, business English, academic English, leadership language, and professional communication. Imagine a teacher speaking to students. It is necessary to complete your homework. Now imagine a principal addressing the entire school. It is imperative that all students follow safety rules. Can you feel the difference? The second sentence has authority and urgency. That is why powerful speakers often prefer imperative. Now let us talk about situations where you should replace necessary with imperative. Situation number 1. Serious situations. When something involves safety, danger, emergency, or critical importance, imperative is often the better word. For example, it is imperative to evacuate the building immediately. It is imperative that doctors receive accurate information. It is imperative to protect children online. These sentences sound professional and urgent. Situation number 2. Business communication. In professional environments, leaders and managers often use imperative to emphasize importance. For example, it is imperative that the project is completed on time. Communication between departments is imperative for success. It is imperative to maintain customer trust. These sentences sound much more advanced than simply using necessary. Situation number 3. Academic and formal writing. Students who want higher scores in English writing should learn this word. Instead of writing, it is necessary to understand history. Write. It is imperative to understand history. Immediately your writing sounds more mature and sophisticated. Situation number 4. Speeches and presentations. Public speakers love using words that create emotional impact. Imperative is one of those words. For example, it is imperative that we act now. It is imperative to protect the environment. It is imperative that society supports education. These sentences sound inspiring and powerful. Now let us compare both words side by side. Necessary, simple, common, neutral, everyday English, basic importance, imperative, strong, formal, urgent, professional English, critical importance. This does not mean necessary is bad. It is still an excellent and useful word. But if every sentence uses necessary, your English becomes flat and repetitive. Adding imperative gives your language depth and variety. Now let us examine the grammar of imperative. Very commonly, native speakers use these structures. It is imperative that, it is imperative to. For example, it is imperative that employees arrive on time. It is imperative to follow the instructions carefully. Notice something interesting here. After that, we often use the base form of the verb. It is imperative that he be informed. It is imperative that she arrive early. This structure is formal English and is often connected with advanced grammar usage. Now let us move to another meaning of imperative. In grammar, imperative also refers to command sentences. For example, close the door, please sit down, stop talking, listen carefully. These are called imperative sentences because they give instructions or commands. Interestingly, the same word carries the idea of urgency and command both in grammar and in general meaning. Now let us deeply explore 5 examples of necessary. Example 1. Sleep is necessary for good health. Explanation. Without sleep, the body and mind cannot function properly. Here, necessary simply means needed. Example 2. A password is necessary to access the account. Explanation. The password is required. This is a normal requirement. Example 3. Practice is necessary for improvement. Explanation. If you want to improve, practice is needed. Example 4. It is necessary to check your work before submitting it. Explanation. Checking your work helps avoid mistakes. Example 5. Good communication is necessary in every relationship. Explanation. Relationships require communication to stay healthy. Now let us deeply explore 5 examples of imperative. Example 1. It is imperative that we protect the environment. Explanation. This sentence expresses urgency and importance because environmental problems affect the future of the planet. Example 2. It is imperative to follow the doctor's advice. Explanation. Ignoring medical advice may create serious consequences. Example 3. It is imperative that students respect examination rules. Explanation. The speaker emphasizes strong importance and authority. Example 4. Quick action is imperative during emergencies. Explanation. Emergencies demand immediate action. Example 5. It is imperative that leaders make responsible decisions. Explanation. Leadership decisions affect many people, so responsibility becomes critically important. Can you hear the difference in tone between the 2 groups of examples? Necessary sounds calm and practical. Imperative sounds powerful and urgent. That difference can completely change the impact of your English. Now let us discuss common mistakes. Mistake number 1. Using imperative for small unimportant things. Wrong. It is imperative to buy chocolate today. This sounds overly dramatic unless the situation is truly serious. Better. It is necessary to buy groceries. Remember, imperative should usually be reserved for serious importance. Mistake number 2. Using necessary in formal speeches where stronger language is needed. Weak. It is necessary to solve this crisis. Stronger. It is imperative to solve this crisis. In speeches, stronger vocabulary creates stronger emotional impact. Mistake number 3. Confusing imperative with important. Not everything important is imperative. For example, exercise is important, but during a medical emergency, immediate surgery is imperative. Imperative is stronger than important. Now let us explore synonyms. Synonyms of necessary: required, needed, essential, indispensable, needed for success. Synonyms of imperative: urgent, critical, vital, crucial, mandatory, compulsory. But remember, no synonym is exactly identical. Every word has its own emotional strength and style. Now let us practice transforming sentences. Listen carefully. Necessary. It is necessary to wear a seatbelt. Advanced version. It is imperative to wear a seatbelt. Necessary. Good leadership is necessary for growth. Advanced version. Strong leadership is imperative for growth. Necessary. It is necessary to address climate change. Advanced version. It is imperative to address climate change immediately. Notice how imperative increases emotional intensity. This is exactly how politicians, CEOs, teachers, motivational speakers, and journalists sound powerful in English. Now let us talk about tone and psychology. Language creates emotion. When you say necessary, people think, yes, that should be done. When you say imperative, people think, this absolutely must be done. That emotional effect is extremely valuable in communication. For example, imagine a company email. It is necessary to update your password. This sounds routine. Now read this. It is imperative that all employees update their passwords immediately. This creates urgency. That is why advanced communicators carefully choose vocabulary. Now let us explore some real-world style examples inspired by professional English usage. Business. It is imperative that the company adapts to technological changes. Education. It is imperative for students to develop critical thinking skills. Health. It is imperative to maintain proper hygiene. Technology. It is imperative that users protect their personal data. Environment. It is imperative to reduce pollution levels. These sentences sound polished, intelligent, and professional. Now let us discuss conversational use. In casual conversation, people usually use necessary more often because it sounds natural and relaxed. For example, is it necessary to bring my laptop? Do we really need this? But in serious discussions, native speakers naturally switch to imperative. For example, it is imperative that we handle this carefully. Can you see how context changes vocabulary choice? That is what advanced English is all about. Now let us move to a short imaginary dialogue. Albert, do you think exercise is necessary? Hazel, yes, absolutely. But for older adults, regular exercise becomes imperative because health risks increase with age. Albert, interesting. So, imperative sounds stronger than necessary. Hazel, exactly. It adds urgency and seriousness. Albert, can I use imperative in business English? Hazel, definitely. Professionals use it all the time in meetings, reports, and presentations. This is how native speakers naturally understand the difference. Now let us discuss writing improvement. Many students repeatedly use important, necessary, needed, but advanced writers use imperative, crucial, vital, essential, critical. This variation makes writing more sophisticated. Imagine an essay introduction. Basic version. It is necessary to improve education systems. Advanced version. It is imperative to improve education systems in order to prepare future generations. Which one sounds more professional? Of course, the second one. Vocabulary choice changes the power of communication. Now let us explore emotional strength levels. Weak, helpful, stronger, important, even stronger, necessary, very strong, imperative. This is why imperative sounds impressive. It belongs to a higher emotional level. Now let us discuss formal speaking. Leaders often use imperative because it inspires action. For example, it is imperative that we unite. It is imperative to defend freedom. It is imperative that we invest in education. These sentences sound motivating and authoritative. Now let us discuss memory techniques. How can you remember imperative? Think about authority, urgency, and command. The word naturally carries the feeling that something absolutely must happen. That simple idea can help you remember the meaning forever. Now let us move to advanced sentence patterns. Pattern 1. It is imperative that plus subject plus base verb. Example. It is imperative that she attend the meeting. Pattern 2. It is imperative to plus verb. Example. It is imperative to stay calm. Pattern 3. Noun plus is imperative. Example. Communication is imperative for success. These structures are very common in professional English. Now let us compare emotional impact one more time. Necessary. The action should happen. Imperative. The action must happen. Necessary. Moderate importance. Imperative. Extreme importance. Necessary. Neutral feeling. Imperative. Urgent feeling. This is the key difference you must remember. Now let us explore some advanced examples. It is imperative that governments address unemployment. It is imperative to invest in renewable energy. It is imperative that parents support children emotionally. It is imperative to remain honest in difficult situations. It is imperative that society values education. These sentences sound elegant, intelligent, and persuasive. Now let us discuss why learning advanced vocabulary matters. Many learners know grammar but still sound basic because they repeat simple words. Advanced English is not only grammar. It is vocabulary choice. Two people may say the same thing, but the one with better vocabulary sounds more educated and confident. For example, basic. This is very important. Advanced. This is absolutely imperative. The meaning is similar, but the impact is completely different. That is why replacing overused words is one of the fastest ways to improve spoken English. Now let us practice a mini exercise. I will say a sentence with necessary. Try mentally replacing it with imperative. It is necessary to solve this issue. Now stronger. It is imperative to solve this issue. It is necessary to protect wildlife. Now stronger. It is imperative to protect wildlife. It is necessary to improve communication. Now stronger. It is imperative to improve communication. Excellent. This kind of practice trains your brain to use advanced vocabulary naturally. Now let us discuss one final important point. Do not overuse imperative. If every sentence sounds dramatic, your English may feel unnatural. Balance is important. Use necessary for ordinary needs. Use imperative for serious importance and urgency. That balance makes your English sound natural and intelligent. Before we finish, let us quickly review everything we learned today. Necessary means needed or required. Imperative means urgently and critically important. Necessary is neutral. Imperative is powerful. Necessary is common in daily conversation. Imperative is common in formal, professional, academic, and leadership English. Necessary describes ordinary requirements. Imperative describes urgent demands and serious importance. And finally, you practiced examples, sentence structures, and vocabulary transformation techniques. Now you are ready to sound more advanced in English. The next time you want to say something is very important, do not always use necessary. Use imperative when the situation demands strength, urgency, and authority. That one vocabulary upgrade can instantly make your English sound more professional and powerful. Thank you so much for watching and learning with me today. Keep practicing, keep improving, and keep expanding your vocabulary because every new word gives you a stronger voice in English. See you in the next lecture.